symbol of peace between nations to celebrate the long-lasting peace, friendship, camaraderie, and the longest undefended border on Earth through their peace pipeline. It's like I didn't talk about that. Wide average. Average depth 220 feet. Right here we're easily that much water. It's just 80 meters on average. One deep spot behind us in the middle. The landscape was sculpted by nature's ice. Buried in ice. If you can imagine this valley 3/4 full of ice on average. At certain glacial heights, only the highest mountain peaks exposed. The glaciers move like rivers, slowly but surely sculpting and carving this landscape to the way that we see it today. U-shaped valleys and U-shaped basin of this lake. Clans learning how to hunt big game like woolly mammoth. Different times for sure. Yeah, good question. How can you cross that border without a passport? Well, while you're on the boat, you're good. You're not getting off the boat. And even if you take our cruise that lands, the other cruise lands at the south end of the lake, you can get off the boat and walk around the visitor center. But if you want to go beyond there, you need to go on your device and download an app from U.S. Customs. It's called the Roam app. And so you send a picture of your passport and they give you permission. So it's not quite anybody can cross the border without a passport. As some people say, not quite. Comes the Roddy Paul boat. That's a boat named after a boy. Boats should be named after girls. There you go. Give them a wave. People are friendly from boat to boat. Different gesture. Automobile to automobile. Americans called those peaks Octonopsis, needles. I'm surely not saying that correctly. To the right, a view out onto the prairies where I live, a little town called Glenwood. Got up this morning, went outside with my t-shirt on, there's no wind, this is beautiful. Drove to Waterton, got out of the car, putting on coats. Yes, it was raining here. Hill Spring? Yes. Different climate here in the mountains all the time. Beautiful Boundary Bay. About to cruise into Boundary Creek. Creek on the left, flowing into the lake. That pretty spot. Boundary Creek, and in the background, a great picture of the Needles Citadel of Porcupine Ridge. Can you drink that water? How many of you would drink that water right in the stream? Should be safe. I mean, it's right off the Continental Divide. Point source water. How can water be any more pure and clean than that? And you're right. And the answer to everything is yes, you can drink the water. And yes, if you do, you could get sick. Take a bit of a chance because there's a parasite that's natural. It's called Giardia. It comes from animal excrement. So if there's a moose around the corner doing its business in the waterway and you ingest that, you get Giardia, beaver fever. 6 to 8 weeks of extreme intestinal discomfort. Buddy might end up in the hospital. And Giardia is very hard to get rid of out of the human body. So they recommend you filter it or boil it just because of that reason. It's some of the best tap water on earth. We'll take it home. We don't want to. So here's the border on the west shore. And there's a little bit of bear grass up the line, but it's pretty much finished. See the white flowers there. Further up the line, and the two markers. When they line up, you have a surveyor's view of 49 degrees north latitude. So quick question, why is the water green? The color of the water. This is kind of blue-green. It's glacial fed, and that's the main reason for the coloration. Other lakes further to the north of us, like Peyto Lake, Lake Louise, beautiful milky turquoise. Also characteristic colors of glacial fed lakes. As glaciers move down mountain slopes, they collect rock. Rock is incorporated into that moving ice. And a lot of that rock is ground up and turned into a fine powder. They call it rock flour. Almost the consistency of the flour you use in your kitchen. Fine particles of rock that are ground up beneath the glaciers, flushed down into the lakes through the rivers, creeks, and streams that drain their meltwaters. When those particles hit this body of water, they're so fine that they don't sink nor float. So you take a clean drinking glass, dip it in these lakes, and hold it up to the sunlight, you'll see little sparkles of the rock flour in suspension. Now in the case of this lake, we have small glaciers that are far away, so a lower concentration. In the case of Lake Louise, the Victoria Glacier right at the end of the lake, feeding tons of that rock dust or rock flour into the water, higher concentration of rock dust equals more milk.